Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Scenic Root Astrology. Makayla here, and I am finishing the Ascendant series that I started a really long time ago. So for you Virgo risings, I'm sorry, it's very late. I'm recording one of the last videos. For you Virgo risings, I apologize that you've had to wait a little bit for my rising series, but hopefully this video resonates for you and helps you understand a little bit more about yourself from the evolutionary perspective. Okay. Just a quick note, if you have not seen my What Does the Ascendant Mean video yet, I do suggest that you watch that first because I basically teach about 17 minutes of what the rising sign means in general in the astrology chart according to the evolutionary perspective. Okay. And I think it's really important that if you don't have a foundation of astrology already, or you're looking to deepen your understanding, the two of these will really click together, right? It'll really help you deepen your sense of emotional connection to what it means to be a Virgo rising. Okay. So that being said, Virgo risings, just to reiterate, this is what you're slowly becoming, okay, throughout the course of your life. Okay. The rising sign is an instinctual part in our psyche, an instinctual part of our nature. And it's how the world see us, okay? How other people also perceive us and view us, okay? We often don't really understand our rising sign or understand our qualities that we actually had of our rising sign until we start using the tools of astrology. And we learn about it and it gets pointed out to us and we're like, oh, okay, yeah, I really am kind of like that. Interesting. So becoming a Virgo rising is a lifelong journey for you. Okay. So this is going to be a couple of dynamics. Okay. A couple of really important dynamics to understand is that, a part of this is learning about discernment. Okay. Throughout the course of your life. And that means learning what does and does not work, okay, and being able to make choices and discern what is or is not healthy for you in this life, okay. A lot of your evolution is going to be related to your personal health and wellness. And that not only affects your physical health, but also your emotional, mental, and spiritual health. Okay. And I'm going to talk about why the holistic approach is best for you as I get further in down the line to the video. Okay. And the other thing is about your self-worth and how it's related to your acts of service. Okay. Being a Virgo rising. So, what basically happens for the evolutionary intention for Virgo rising is that you're learning how to be discerning about how you show up for other people. Okay. Nuggy, no, we're not eating. We just ate. I apologize. My dog is a hungry hippo. So you naturally want to be of service, right? You naturally want to be helpful to other people. There is an instinctual drive to show up for other people, and there can be this underpinning nature about yourself that, when you show up and you do things for other people, that it creates some type of worth within yourself. You can sometimes measure your self-worth into the relationship of, how much you're doing for another, okay? How much you're basically sacrificing yourself for another, okay? And it's because Virgo is so detail oriented, okay? Your qualities, your gifts, your natural abilities that you have, the things that are so wonderful about you is that you can look at something from a refined perspective, right? You can get really honed in, really detailed in, and see how you can improve something, right? How you can make something work better, okay? And you often do it from a humble approach, right? It's like you genuinely just want to help. It's not about pointing out something's imperfection because, just for the sake of pointing it out. It's genuinely because you're like, well, this is beautiful, but like, what could make it better kind of thing, right? So it's about refining a craft, right? Really perfecting a craft, right? Really becoming very skilled at something, right? And then being able to bring that craftsmanship that you have worked so hard to achieve, like you bring that out into the world, like whether that is through your family or your friends as a natural gift, or most of you will actually bring these gifts that you have into the workplace or, your chosen form of self-expression or, career path, if you will. You'll often bring these qualities of being able to refine something and polish something up and prove it in some type of way. Like that will be a natural talent and a natural ability for you. Okay. um, the thing that can trip up the Virgo rising, and that is about the evolution for you, is is the fact that it can go too far the other way, where things aren't perfect, right? Like nothing in life is going to be perfect. And for Virgo risings, you can be very self-analytical on yourself and very self-critical of yourself because you have really high standards of what you think perfection should look like. Okay. And although that having high standards and like wanting to achieve something and wanting to improve something is good qualities to have, there's a very fine line that needs to be learned, that Virgo evolves over time to learn that, sometimes we can try to achieve the bar too high and it's not realistic. Okay. It's a higher ideal that actually nothing is perfect in life, right? The thing that comes to mind is like my bouquet of flowers right here that I have, which are so gorgeous and beautiful, but some are dying, right? And some are wilting. And if there was like a heavy Virgo placed florist in my kitchen right now, I know for sure they would be like picking apart the things and taking up the things that are dying. And I'm like, no, I love it. It's just like a giant bush of crazy, beautiful flowers, and half are dead. And it's amazing. But the thing is like you learn that ultimately improvement is important, okay, but the self-critical stuff or the over analyzing, right, that can lead to stuff that leads to anxiety. Okay, it leads to anxiety, or also it can impact your self-worth. Okay, it can impact how you feel about yourself. And so a lot of Virgo rising um, people, especially from a younger age, and you learn more wisdom as you get older, right? So you become more evolved to understand a more holistic side of what it means to be Virgo. But early on, or wherever part you're in your journey, as you're evolving, as you're growing, as you're learning, you can experience these times of even paralysis, right? Because you can be over analyzing something to the very point where there's no objectivity to look at the picture, the bigger picture, and understand that, everything is working anyway. Okay. And so how can you heal that, right? Like, how can you evolve through, having perfectionist standards and like being overly analytical at times, or self-critical at times, or critical of other people at times, right? Or other people's work and so forth, right? How can you pull yourself out and create some ease and some flow in your life? Okay. So like one of the first things that's going to happen or need to happen is for you to allow yourself to be in the present moment. Okay. The more that you can take yourself out of those spins where you get too detail oriented, or too self-critical on yourself, like for say like, oh, I could have done more for my partner in that partnership, right? Like say for instance a partnership ends, and then that creates a form of crisis for Virgo because it's a messy breakup, and Virgo doesn't really like mess. It likes to have order and structure in its life, right? It thrives off of detail and order and structure and cleanliness, right? Cleanliness in the space, cleanliness in the mind, cleanliness in the body, right? That's where Virgo really thrives. And then you bring in this messy breakup and it's chaos, and it's like, oh my God, everything is out of order. Well, that can spiral like a Virgo placement or a Virgo rising to overanalyze in the details of like, how did they go wrong, or where did they show up and they were, not the perfect partner in the relationship, for instance, right? how you get out of situations like that, right? Just that's a situation, for example, is you come back to the present moment. Okay. So, like, one of the books that I love to prescribe to Virgos or Virgo risings is Eckhart Tolle's The Power of Now, because it teaches you to be in the present moment and to understand that everything that is in the present moment is right. It is correct for you. And it allows you to release yourself from the chaos and the over analyzing of what coulda, shoulda, woulda, right? And the trying to fix something, and just be in gratitude and in grace with the present moment of the living and the breathing and the now, and how everything is beautiful and you're alive and your pets are healthy at least, right? And so forth. And you have a beautiful garden, maybe. And and you come back down to that present moment, and that allows you to simplify things. Okay. And another thing that's really, really helpful for Virgo risings to evolve through is to learn that, this simplicity is really, really beautiful. And that, the things that are not perfect are actually quite perfect and actually quite, lovely to experience in this world. Right. And so another thing that shows up for Virgo rising individuals is the fact that, your health, your health becomes very important over the course of your life. Okay. So you learn over time how to treat your body better, because you are naturally attuned to what the body needs, right? The small little processes of the body needs, right? How certain chemicals or certain foods can impact the body, how sensitive the body can be to that, right? You're very attuned to mental wellness, okay? Mental health and mental wellness. That does not mean that if I'm saying this right now and you're like, well, Makayla, like, my mental health is like really not great right now as a Virgo rising. That's often the case because, and I'm not saying this is for all Virgo risings, but at one point or another, Virgo risings tend to come into some type of conflict with their health, whether that is emotional, physical, mental, or spiritual, because there is a necessary purification process that needs to happen so that a Virgo can learn what that stability and structure is going to look like for them. Okay. You're going to learn what is going to cause chaos for you if you ingest this, for instance, right? Or say you're lactose intolerant, and like you get deathly sick when you have cheese like that, and you're a Virgo rising, and it just like impacts you like crazy, like nobody else, right? You learn through purifying your body and through discerning what is and what is not good for you. Okay. And this helps you heal yourself, right? Because ultimately the evolutionary journey is about, learning to heal yourself, learning to mend yourself on a very holistic approach. And the holistic approach is so important because it allows Virgo risings that are instinctually driven to navigate through life from a very detail oriented process, a very refined process, a need to fix, a need to help, a need to be of service, right? It helps you develop a holistic approach towards life that allows you to understand that all of the mess of the world, all of the perfections, all of the imperfections, right? All of the details of the world are needed on a whole entire scale, right? It makes up a whole ecosystem. So you actually become very well aware and very hyper attuned that, we are living in this very large ecosystem, and there are so many things that need fixing all in between all of it. But as a whole, as an ecosystem as a whole, it's still working right now, right? It's still working. Could it work better? Yeah, for sure. You're probably saying, yeah, Makayla, it could work better, right? Like the ocean, for instance, right? The ocean is amazing. It's thriving on its own. Like us humans can like barely understand what the hell is going on in the depths of the underneath of the ocean, right? I would say Virgo, because Pisces, which represents the ocean, is opposite of you, would be more attuned and more acutely aware of how the massiveness of that ecosystem works and functions on a bigger scale, and then also be able to process all of the fine details within it. Okay. So really your evolutionary journey is about learning to balance the two, right? Because you're naturally driven for this, right? You're naturally driven for discernment, to bring structure to something, to help people, okay? And please remember that a part of this, there's two parts of your evolutionary journey. And the first one is balancing the two, right? Balancing the need to fix something, to purify something, to clean something up, to be of service to something, to help out, to provide your gifts, balance that with the necessary need for the larger holistic approach and the need that there must be imperfections as well in life, and to allow that, right? To let go of the imperfections of life and return to the present moment and know that the two need to operate, right, in order to function. The two need each other. And the other one is to understand that, yes, being of service is a part of your journey, and it is a wonderful part of your journey. It is so necessary, so needed for the evolution of humanity, but your worth is not equal to how much you do in service to others or in service to the rest of the world, right? Your worth does not equate to that. Your worth is based on who you are as a human being. And it becomes a journey about realizing that Virgo risings need to stop sacrificing their own needs for the needs of others. Okay. And I think that becomes, early on, that becomes an issue at first. And then you've learned through your relationship dynamics. Your opposite is Pisces. That means you're used to sacrificing yourself for the partner, or partner is often used to using you, sacrificing you for whatever their needs are, whether they even know it or not, right? You can often draw in Pisces people who don't even realize they're doing that to you. You know what I mean? And because you're so giving, and because you want to be of service to somebody else, you want to help them, and it makes you feel good, you slowly drain yourself because you're constantly giving yourself away to somebody else, helping somebody else at the sacrifice of your own needs. Okay. So the second most important part of this journey is that Virgo needs to heal themselves first, Virgo rising. You need to heal yourself first. You need to put yourself first. Then you can be of service to other people. But you need to take care of and heal and always attend. It's a daily ritual to always attend to your needs first. Okay. Having that daily ritual to serve yourself first is going to ultimately be the greatest act of service that you could ever give in your entire evolutionary journey. Okay. Because if you don't have enough to give to yourself, you certainly don't have enough to give to other people. And I know that is a part of your journey. You want to be able to, show up and be of service in other people's lives, especially those that you care about. Okay. But the greatest gift that you will learn is, and the greatest evolutionary journey that you will learn is to heal and to take care of oneself as a daily ritualistic, a part of your nature, like an instinctual drive to heal oneself first. And then you teach other people to do the same, okay? Because they're going to reflect that same back at you, and you're going to reflect that at them, right? So then you begin to teach other people to heal themselves, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically, okay? And that becomes the greater holistic journey that, we're all a part of this together, okay? So I hope that this helped, Virgo risings. Please, if you liked this video, please make sure that you hit the like button. Make sure that you subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet, and also leave me a comment if any of this resonated with you. I hope it did. And if you want to be of service to somebody else and you know another Virgo rising who could hear this message, make sure that you send this video to them so they can check it out. Okay? I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care.